Have you ever had that feeling where the English you learned in class just doesn't sound right when you actually use it? You're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to close that gap between textbook English and how people really talk, so you can feel way more confident in any conversation. So let's talk about this. It's the classic problem, right? You've studied so hard, you know your grammar inside and out, but when you speak, it feels a little stiff, a little robotic. It's like you're reading from a script instead of just talking. We're going to break out of that trap today. I mean, does this sound familiar? You're trying to be friendly, you're trying to connect with someone, but the words that come out sound super formal? Don't worry, seriously. This is such a common step in the learning process, and we're going to hop right over it.
Okay, just look at this example. On the left, you've got a sentence that is 100% grammatically correct. But who talks like that in real life? On the right, that's what you'd actually hear. See the difference? Correct isn't always the same as natural. Knowing when to use each is the real secret.
And here's the best part. The problem probably isn't your grammar at all. It's all about picking the right words for the moment. Think about it like clothes. You wouldn't wear a fancy suit to a casual backyard barbecue, would you? It's the exact same idea with your words. You just have to match your language to the occasion. So, how do we get good at this? How do we become total masters of conversational English? Well, it really all comes down to one big idea: understanding when to be formal and when to be informal. Let's dive into that. You know, language experts have a word for this. They call it register. It's really just a fancy way of saying the formality level. And it all depends on three things. Where are you? Who are you talking to? And how are you talking? Like face-to-face or in a text message? A text to your best friend is going to sound way different than an email to your boss. This, right here, is a total game changer. I want you to stop thinking in terms of correct versus incorrect. From now on, think appropriate versus inappropriate. Just that one little mental shift is going to unlock so much confidence and make you a much more flexible, natural-sounding speaker. This table breaks it all down so nicely. You've got your formal level, think job interviews. Then there's polite, kind of your everyday mode with colleagues or teachers. And finally, casual. That's for your friends and family. Just look at how a simple greeting like hello completely changes depending on who you're talking to. Okay, let's put this into action. And we have to start with the most important part of any conversation, that first impression. If you can nail your greetings, you are well on your way to sounding more natural. Check this out. In a formal setting, you'd say the whole thing, good morning, but with a friend, you'd just say morning. This isn't being lazy, it's a real thing in casual English called ellipsis, where we drop words that are understood. It's a fantastic little trick to sound more natural.
Here's another perfect example. How are you? Is great. It's safe, it works in almost any situation. How's it going is a little more relaxed, a little more friendly. And then there's what's up, which is super casual. And honestly, a lot of the time, it's not even a real question. It's just another way to say hi. Okay, let's quickly go over a few common mistakes just so you can avoid them. The biggest one? Using good night when you arrive somewhere. Good night is only for when you're leaving. When you arrive in the evening, you say good evening. And hey, don't forget to smile. It's not about your words, but it makes every greeting 1,000 times better. All right, so you've nailed the greeting. Awesome. But now what? How do you keep the chat going so it doesn't just fizzle out after hello? Let's look at a super simple way to build a better conversation. This little 3-step process is basically your secret weapon. You start with an opening question, then you listen and ask a follow-up question to show you're actually interested, and then you share something yourself. It's like a simple dance. Ask, share. That rhythm can turn a short chat into a real connection. Hey, it's totally okay to not understand every single word. It happens to everyone. But instead of a blunt, please repeat, try something a little softer, like, could you say that again, please? It's a small change, but it sounds so much more polite. And if you hear a new word, just ask. People are usually happy to explain. Oh, this phrase is pure gold, especially for polite requests. Starting with, I was wondering if, is so much softer than asking a direct question. It just feels less demanding and gives the other person a really easy way to say no if they have to. It's a really smart tool to have in your toolbox. Starting a conversation well is important for sure, but ending it well, the graceful goodbye, is just as crucial. A good farewell leaves a really positive feeling and makes people look forward to talking with you again. Let's make sure we do it right. Okay, notice the subtle difference here. It was a pleasure to meet you. Sounds pretty formal, right?
A more flexible and friendly way to say it is, "It was nice chatting with you." It just feels warmer and more genuine, and it's a great way to build a connection.
And here are a couple more super useful phrases for you. When you're making plans, a really natural way to agree is just to say, that works for me. And for a simple, casual goodbye, you can never go wrong with a friendly, have a good one, or the classic, see you later. Wow, we have covered a ton of ground, from the first hello all the way to the final goodbye. But if there was just one thing, one single idea you should take away from all of this, what would that be? Let's boil it all down.
All right, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this next point. It's the most important one. It all comes down to this: context is the key. That's it. It's not about memorizing a million rules. It's about looking around you. Where are you? Who are you talking to? Just asking yourself those two simple questions will tell you everything you need to know to have a natural, confident conversation. So I want to leave you with a little challenge. What's one new phrase from today that you're going to try to use this week? Because learning this stuff is great, but actually using it is where the magic happens. So get out there, give it a try, and just watch how much more confident you feel. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today.